Gentlemen, let's begin with a hard truth. We are living in the softest age in human history. A time when strength is optional, purpose is postponed, and men scroll more than they strive. A time where identity is outsourced to trends, emotions replace principles, and masculinity is mocked more than it is modeled. And yet, you can feel it, can't you? A quiet hunger, a restless pull towards something older, sharper, and deeper. The throne is a symbol of responsibility, leadership, and influence. And the sword is the capacity to defend it physically, emotionally, and mentally. In every age where comfort rises and standards collapse, men must choose. So, do we surrender to softness, or do we rise and reclaim our place in the order of things? So, welcome to this episode. The throne and the sword, building power, purpose, and brotherhood in a soft age. That's our topic of discussion today. So, the throne represents power that must be earned. The throne is not given, it is taken. But more importantly, it is deserved. A man without purpose is a king without a kingdom. A man without discipline is a king without command. As David Dada tells us in The Way of the Superior Man, a man's purpose must come before his relationship. Not because women are beneath it, but because purpose grounds a man. It stabilizes his identity and expands his capacity to love, lead, and grow. The modern world teaches men to pursue comfort, but comfort does not build kings. Pressure, focus, and legacy do. So let's look at an illustration. We look at the empty castle as an illustration. Imagine a powerful throne sitting in an abandoned castle. The man who refuses responsibility, leadership, and growth, he sits there. But the halls are empty because he never built anything or anyone. His comfort cost him his kingdom. So the question for reflection is this, gentlemen. What kingdom are you building? Is it personal? Is it financial? Is it spiritual? Or is it generational? So let's look at the sword. which represents capability backed by restraint. The sword represents strength, not brute force, but disciplined ability. A harmless man, as we have said before, is not a good man. A good man is a very dangerous man who has it under voluntary control. Gentlemen, if you're enjoying this video, please take a moment to like, subscribe, and share it. When you subscribe, you'll always be notified when I drop new content. Also, when you like and share, you help this channel to grow, and more importantly, you help other men to discover the tools that they need to level up. So remember, when one man rises, we all rise. Now let's get back to the video. In other words, moral worth is not built on weakness, but on mastery over strength. So you must become strong before you can be good or gentle. If you are weak, you cannot be considered to be gentle or peaceful. You are just harmless. So that's why in martial arts, weights, cold exposure, and financial strategy, this is why they matter. You learn these things. Not because they are aggressive, but because they forge self-respect, strength, competence, and calm under pressure. A man without a sword is harmless. A man with a sword and no mission is dangerous. A man who holds a sword to defend his throne, his vision, and his loved ones is a leader. So let's look at the rusted blade. Remember, they say that a sword rusts in its scabbard. A sword that is never swung, it grows dull. Likewise, a man who never tests himself, physically, mentally, spiritually, he becomes soft. His voice trembles. His vision fades because dormant strength dissolves into fragility. We normally say about muscles, use them or lose them. The same applies to your mind. So let's look at the brotherhood. These are the men who sharpen other men. You are not meant to rise alone, gentlemen. In the boyhood stage, men compete for validation. In the mature stage, men collaborate towards elevation. In Iron John, Robert Bly calls this the male initiation that modern society has failed to provide. So we need older embodied men who challenge, who affirm, and who guide younger men into courage, depth, and responsibility. Men without brotherhood, they drift. Men in brotherhood rise. And this is why military units, fight gyms, ancient tribes, and even modern workplaces with strong masculine bonds, they outperform fragmented groups. Iron sharpens iron, gentlemen. As a proverb goes, but only if they connect. So let's look at the unified shield. One shield is easily broken. But when a wall of shields, shoulder to shoulder, turns enemies into dust. Brotherhood is not a luxury. It is a survival tool in a world built to isolate men from each other. So, what is the cost of softness and the coming collapse? So, we have young men who nowadays they eat pizza, take a lot of sugar and ice cream. They don't go to the gym, they don't run, they don't work out. They watch Netflix and watch spectator sports and play video games. Their testosterone drops. They are not masculine, they are not confident, they are very emotional. What happens? Let's look at the numbers. Depression rates in young men are skyrocketing. Testosterone levels have dropped to over 30% in the last 40 years. 1 in 3 young men is not dating, is not working, or not moving towards independence. Okay? They become what Kevin Samuel used to call husband sons. They become dependents who are grown-ups. They live with their parents into their late 20s and 30s. Loneliness is now deadlier than smoking. That's according to the US Surgeon General 2023 report. The soft age teaches men to avoid conflict, to numb discomfort, to outsource their identity, and wait for validation. But history, gentlemen, is very clear. Soft times create weak men. Weak men create hard times. Hard times create strong men. And strong men create good times. And that cycle repeats itself. It's a common expression. We are entering hard times phase, gentlemen. The question is, will you be forged by it? Or will you be broken by it? So here is a blueprint. The tools of the throne and of the sword. So as far as the throne, remember throne is a purpose and the sword is a strength. So if your purpose is to build financial autonomy, okay? Or if you want to choose mission over comfort, or if you want to develop emotional mastery, or if you want to lead with vision, or mentor others up, mentor or lift others up, then you need to train physical capability. You need to practice discipline over desire. You need to build boundaries and backbone. And you need to speak with clarity and force. And you need to protect those who are in your care. Some of the books you need to read for this is, of course, No More Mr. Nice Guy by Dr. Robert Glover, The Way of Men by Jack Donovan. We need to read Unplugged, all the Unplugged series, particularly Unplugged 5 and Two Body Problem. You need to read Rational Male by Rollo Tomasi. You need to read Rich Cooper's Unplugged Alpha. So, gentlemen, my final charge is you need to sit on the throne and wield the sword. So this is your calling, brothers. Build your throne. Sharpen your sword. Stand with men who sharpen you. Okay? When you talk about network, we're not talking about drinking buddies or people you watch football with. You need to network with men who can sharpen you. Become the kind of man who is strong enough to lead and wise enough to restrain. himself. Don't apologize for your masculinity. Do not outsource your purpose. Do not neglect your strength. Do not walk alone. Your mission begins when you stop waiting for permission and start taking responsibility. So reflect on these questions. What is your purpose? What is your throne? What is your sword? What type of brotherhood do you need to build or join? So let's grow. Not as victims of softness, but as men who shape the future. Share your reflections, your reactions, your experiences in the comment section below. Get unplugged, and I'll see you on the next one.